This is Port Qasim in Karachi. It is the world's first port where shipments destined for the US began to be screened for any radioactive or nuclear material. Container security initiative has been put in place by the US to prevent what it calls a nuclear 9/11.
2, 1, fire.
This is the story of the nuclearization of Pakistan and the fears of the West about its proliferation. This is Swat Valley, once known as mini Switzerland of Pakistan. It is now a major battleground where the army is fighting the Taliban.
As the Taliban try to expand their influence in the settled areas, the West is raising a number of troubling questions. Can the state collapse? Can the militants come to power? And can the country's nuclear weapons fall into the wrong hands?
An anxiety about the security of Pakistani nukes has been particularly intense in the United States. The American media is even talking about the need to explore military option to secure Pakistan's nuclear weapons.
I think the United States and the West in general, maybe the world in general, has to be concerned because Pakistan does have a nuclear arsenal. It's got a number of warheads, who knows how many warheads, maybe 24 warheads, and it certainly had the means to deliver nuclear weapons by aircraft or ballistic missiles. So of course there's a concern, especially when the country looks like it's rather unstable and the civilian government is really not in charge.
Is there a real threat, or is it simply a case of Western media hype? Pakistan's nuclear history has always been of much concern for the West. In 2004, the father of Pakistan's nuclear program, Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan, confessed to have leaked nuclear secrets to other countries.
It is with the deepest sense of sorrow, anguish and regret that I have chosen to appear before you.
And that proliferation scandal still haunts Western capitals. But the recent unrest in parts of the northwest frontier province has further compounded the Western fears about the security of Pakistan's nuclear weapons. Dr. Parvez Soodbhoy is a nuclear physicist. He thinks Pakistan should be concerned about its own nuclear weapons more than anyone else.
There is the fear that at some point the insurgency could make inroads into those areas where nuclear weapons are stored or where they're being manufactured.
Brigadier retired Naeem Salik is one of the founding members of the National Command Authority, which controls Pakistan's nuclear program.
That's a strange thing. You see, people were talking about Taliban being 100 kilometers away from the capital. The point is, at many places, if you look at Pakistan's map, the total depth of Pakistan is not more than 200 kilometers at places. So if you look at Islamabad, as the crow flies, it may be less than 100 kilometers from India. It is about 40 kilometers or so from the line of control. So then there is threat all around.
After 9/11, the US became obsessed with the idea of terrorists getting their hands on the nuclear bomb. And the US believes the most likely country where this can happen is Pakistan.
Somehow that the Taliban get control actually of the government or a nuclear facility or of a nuclear weapon. The other is that one of the nuclear scientists goes rogue, kind of like A.Q. Khan did, who may have Islamic sympathies.
That fear was heightened when it was revealed that a retired Pakistani nuclear engineer met Osama bin Laden just days before the 9/11 attacks. Shahid-ur-Rehman is a journalist and author of a book on the history of Pakistan's nuclear program.
Bashiruddin Mahmood was a Pakistani scientist. He became a very religious person. He started relief work in Afghanistan, met Osama bin Laden and Zawahiri. maybe 15 days before the 9/11 happened. So he had gone there. But then the important question is, was there any truth in the charges that he might have helped Al-Qaeda? And these charges, these allegations and fears have been found to be completely baseless.
The nuclear establishment believes the story was blown out of proportion. In a rare interview with DawnNews, a senior official of the National Command Authority rejects the possibility of proliferation.
No proliferation of sensitive knowledge took place even then. But it's also important to ask this question, and I think it's a fair question to say why it would not happen now. The system is institutionalized, and even the retired scientists, those with sensitive knowledge, remain within the oversight after retirement from the service.
The real worry in Washington is not that militants can go into one of the nuclear facility and grab the nuclear weapons, but rather parts of the bomb, particularly highly enriched uranium, may fall into their hands. There is no evidence that Al-Qaeda or Taliban has the bomb yet. Dr. Parvez Hoodbhoy thinks if they ever get their hands on the nuclear fuel, it would not be hard for them to make a bomb.
With highly enriched uranium, it is possible to make a fairly crude nuclear weapon, what is called a gun-type weapon, and all you would need is, well, something like 80 to 90 kilograms of HEU. And so that's about that much. Now that is a lot of material, but it's something that if it could be gotten hold of, would be sufficient to make a rather crude nuclear weapon from.
It's not that easy. Crude bomb actually requires a lot of material, not 25 kilograms. That is on established design, and you need expertise in many fields. You need a nuclear physicist. You need people, the experts in conventional explosives. You need electronic experts who can design those circuits.
Air Commodore Banori thinks making the bomb is a far-fetched fear. In the first place, it is impossible to steal nuclear fuel from Pakistan.
What we do have in our system is a stringent material control, which takes care of every ounce of every gram of the material that comes in, and it covers the whole fuel cycle.
But are the militants the only threat to Pakistan's nuclear arsenal? We will find out next.